Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be showing off some battles that I did using the Copycat challenge, which is essentially me copying my opponent's team after I face them, whether I win or lose. This resulted in a lot of really chaotic teams. Some of them I didn't want to play, but overall we did very well. So I just want to show off some of these fun battles here. A nice challenge to have if you're looking to mix it up in Pokemon Go. Anyways, in GBL, I should say. Anyways, Mantine into Poliwrath, very good lead here, and they come into Gligar. Here, I should have went up to the Ice Beam, then through the Bubble Beam, and I copied the opponent's movesets as well. So this person had, I did want to throw a move just because the one Scald doesn't quite KO the Gligar. But maybe I did actually need to throw the move. Maybe I could just, well, I guess this ensures the switch, which is important because Dickersby does not want to see, does not want to see the Poliwrath at all. And we get another Scald off. I am going to shield this. They actually go for the dig. And then I am going to shield this again just because I did get the CMP. And they go in for the Aerial Ace, which I would have survived, but that's quite all right. And throw the Scald. Should be able to make it to a Mud Bomb here, which is some nice chip damage. It actually worked out pretty nicely for me later, which you'll see in a little bit. So coming into Mantine, they throw what I presume is gonna be the Icy Wind. And then they come into Sandslash here. Maybe, I actually don't know what does more. The Fire Punch or the Scorching Sand. Obviously, Fire Punch is double super effective, but Scorching Sand does more damage. Actually, I don't know here. So anyways, the opponent plays this pretty interesting. They actually had the move there. They actually chose not to throw. Which allows me to get to the Scorching Sand. It makes sense because they needed energy on Poliwrath to have any chance to win here, especially since I didn't have any charge moves that could hurt Poliwrath on the Mantine, but worked out fine for me. So I committed to the farm down. I actually wanted to farm down the Sandslash. So now I'm going to be using Shadow Poliwrath, Shadow Gligar, and Powder Snow Shadow Sandslash, which I have one of. You'll see that sometimes I forget to TM the moveset and resulted in some really awkward situations here, but that's quite all right. I'm going to go ahead and speed up to the beginning of this match. So we pick up a good lead here, and I miscount 3, 4. Oh yeah, so they went 1 over. I actually thought they only went to 5 there, but I don't play Poliwrath a ton, so she miscounted, but that's quite all right. And I guess the Scald wouldn't have KO'd here anyway, so it was good for me to shield. And they come into Dragonair, which I thought was interesting. And I guess they thought I was gonna throw the Scald at them. So I'm a little worried that they're trying to bait me out. So and I saw that it was a Talonflame. I should have did 2 then through the Icy Wind because I would have made it to another Icy Wind, but I get the shield, which is the important part. They are debuffed here. I will do 7 and throw, which is the optimal timing. And I'm going to no shield this because they are debuffed. And they throw the Fly, and then they come into Cashier. I'm going to farm up a little bit. Maybe I could have did 1 more, which would have seen me tie the Mud Bomb. They decide to let it go. And then here, I decide to throw the Aerial Ace, but maybe I should have just, well, actually, I don't know here. So I actually end up just waiting the clock here. And the actual opponent actually decides to straight up leave, which worked out pretty nicely for me. Worked out pretty nicely for me. So I'll take it. Maybe I would have been able to counter down. So next, copy the opponent's team. We have Cash into Azumarill. Apologize for the cursor on the screen. I actually didn't realize that I had the cursor on the screen the whole time. And now that I brought it up, I'm sure it's a distraction for people watching the video, but we'll just have to bear with me. This is actually from the recording of the stream, so let's have to be a little bit more cognizant of that next time. Anyways, they throw the player off, and then I will do 4 and throw. And then I want to get this as low as possible. And then I'll know if they have Ice Beam or Play Rough, depending on how they play this. And they let it go. And I will let this go as well. And then I'm going to come into, my original plan here was to come into Dragonair and catch the Play Rough. So you'll see here, I frame dropped there. And I was so mad. I was so frustrated there. I decided to shield, farm down. I frame dropped there, which prevented me from getting the catch. And they will come into... And I'm going to switch. And they come into Scrafty here. Honestly, I probably should lose this game. But I throw the Flame Charge. I'm just going to try to play it out. And they end up shielding. And these Incinerates are really hurting the Scrafty. I will shield because I will be able to get off another move no matter what. And I throw the Flame Charge. And they actually kind of threw me off here because they decide to no shield here. And as you can see, I have a ton of energy. I will have to throw on alignment, which allows them to sneak a charm in, but not really. I really just need to get the shields down. And they throw the one charm and throw the Icy Wind, or which I presume the Icy Wind. And then I'm going to do 2 and throw the Body Slam. I just have too much energy on my Dragonair. The Body Slam almost takes them out. And then I'm going to do 2 and throw the Body Slam, which allows me to optimize my timing versus this Wigglytuff. So, curious play. I guess they could have... if they would have shielded there, I guess I would put them really low. And I would have got to 3 Body Slams versus the Wiggly, which would have been enough. So we're going to play this ABA Steel team, and we have Carbink, and I presume they have Hydro Pump. That's why I TM'd it to, I have Hydro Pump on it. And I'm just going to do 7 bubbles and throw the Hydro Pump, which is going to be good timing. So now they're 1 off the Moonblast because they're at 11. So they should do 1 and throw the Moonblast. That's totally fine. And they actually have ABA Fairy as well, which is kind of weird to be honest, but that's quite all right. I will throw the Play Rough, and we'll just play this out. I will survive the Play Rough. I'm going to throw another one, then switch to my Wiggly afterwards. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be like triple Fairy. So I switched to Wiggly. I will shield this Play Rough, but they will make it to another move. So I will try to farm them down, but they will make it to the Ice Beam. I'm going to let this go. And they come into Registeel. So I will throw the Icy Wind just to debuff them a little bit. And the Disarming Voice obviously would do more. But if I'm going to let this go. This will force them to switch just because they're debuffed now. And the Focus Blast wouldn't one-shot me. So they come into Carbink, and then they realize that this is game over. There's also a 1264 Carbink, so I'm not sure they were doing some sort of challenge too. And we're going to show off this next set here. I actually had to power up a Carbink. I powered up an attack-weighted one. And I remember someone's like, oh, the attack-weighted one has a breakpoint versus the water gun, versus the Spark Lantern. And then it ended up being a water gun one, which is fine here. I have 2 answers to oh my gosh, some lag there. 2 answers to Dragonite. I get the attack fall, which is great for me. I'm gonna let this go. And then I will throw the Zap Cannon at this Lantern, which should warn a shield. They are twice debuffed. So I'm going to come into Azu here, look to bubble them down. Maybe I could have taken this Thunderbolt because it was twice debuffed. Probably would have been the smart play. And they come into Registeel. This is kind of iffy for me. So I fake the Hydro, and then I throw the Poliwrath. And I will shield this. And then I'm hoping for no debuff. But I do end up getting debuff, so I have to switch. And then I know I'm going to survive any move from the Registeel. And here I call this is the play of the game. I was like, give me the Moonblast debuff. So I get the Moonblast. I actually get the 10% Moonblast debuff, which actually works out super nicely for me. Because they have to come back in with Lantern. They actually will make it to the move, which is fine for me because I get to bubble down this Lantern. I get to farm off the water guns, and then I'm hoping for no debuff versus this Registeel, but I will do one bubble and then throw, and then I will throw the Poliwrath, and then they actually will be able to make it to the Zap Cannon, but I can do 3 bubbles. Even if they're 100 energy, I can do 3 bubbles and then throw the move. And this will allow me to outpace the Dragonite. Even if they were at 100 energy, I would just throw right before they make it to the Focus Blast. And all I have to do is hope that the Ice Beam KOs, even though it's debuffed, and that I will survive the Dragon Breath. And I just barely survived the Dragon Breath. It's absolutely perfect farm on my side. Really, I was impressed with myself with that game there. So it worked out very well. So okay, so we have Dragonite into Azu. Obviously, terrible lead here. I come into Water Gun Lantern, and we'll just throw the Surf. And they end up shielding. Makes sense because they want to control the switch. Maybe I could have shielded here because I don't think they bait, but they went for the drill run, and they actually baited me here. So maybe if I kept better track of the energy, but that's quite all right. I'm going to throw the Surf. And then I am going to try to fight for switch. And they will throw right here. The Ice Punch will KO now. It will shield. I try my best here. I even tried throwing at good timing. But it ended up not being enough. But throwing good timing here allowed me to actually Dragon Breath them down before they get a move off. And then I was going to wait for the Azu to come in. But they try to 5-head me here. So they actually came into Lickitung here, which is kind of weird. And now I'm going to throw the superpower at this Lickitung. This is a very strange play. And then I'm going to switch to Azu. And this game's over here. So they try to 5-head me. I'm not... I guess because like a lot of people would just instant swap there. But the thing is the bubbles are resisted. So I was actually going to farm a little bit, then switch. But that worked out pretty okay for me. It actually would have been a really tough game in the back for me. Even though Registeel is good against both Pokemon, the Lickitung would have put me too low for me to deal with this Azumarill in the back. Okay, so it worked out pretty nicely for me. So we have Azu, Lickitung, and Sandslash. And we have a Cash here. They will throw at good timing after 7 mud shots. I'd actually decide to try to Scald me. So this makes me think that they're weak to Azu in the back. So I'm a little bit worried that it's like a Annihilape or something in the back. They actually end up shielding. I will let this go. If I do get debuff, I will switch. I do end up getting debuffed, so I'm going to switch to Lickitung. They actually decide to stay. And they will get the Skull debuff again, which is okay. They come in, they try to catch on to the Altaria. This is not a terrible situation for me, but also not amazing. Maybe I didn't get debuffed actually there, because I really should pay attention whether I get debuffed or not. I guess it doesn't really matter here if I get debuffed or not. So I will throw the body slam. And I want to save this Lickitung for a sack later. They will throw the sky attack. I'm going to farm down. And they come into cash. They have a ton of energy here. They actually decide to Scald me again. I think this is a single moved cash here. So anyways, I throw the Drill Run because Ice Punch wouldn't have been enough. Probably not enough. It probably would have been pretty close here. They go for the Mud Bomb. And I'm just going to farm up a little bit. And then, oh, actually, I guess I just throw it right away because I just want to get rid of this thing. And then we'll see what's in the back. And it actually ends up being Ferrothorn. So I will switch here. They actually decided to Mirror Shot me, which I found pretty interesting. They actually make a really nice undercharge. And then I do make it to the Body Slam, though, which is pretty nice for me. And I'm going to look to sack the Yazoo. I actually was really hoping I had Ice Beam. I TM'd so many movesets I completely forgot what I had. Anyways, I go for the Poliwrath. And then they're going to farm up a bunch. And then throw the move, throw the Power Whip. And I know no move ends up KOing me. I actually had Bulldoze on... did I have Bulldoze on my Sandslash? Actually, I do think I end up having Bulldoze on this my Sandslash. So, I forgot to TM it because I don't know. Anyways. And then I will make it to... I will be able to Shadow Claw down there. So, I should double check my moveset on my... and then I TM to the move here. So anyways, Annihilape into cash, which is totally fine for me. And they make a very nice switch here. I actually think they switch a turn early, but because I frame drop there, it's hard for me to see. But anyways, I do debuff them, which is pretty nice for me. And I am going to look to build some energy. I'm going to force them to debuff me. And then I'm going to switch. A lot of clock has been elapsed, which is not fantastic for me. I will let this go. They do Icy Wind me, which is fine. They're debuffed. And then, so weird frame drop there. That's totally fine though. And they actually end up shielding here, which I found pretty interesting. And I think they actually double shield. And I'm going to let this go. They will come back in with Annihilape. I was really hoping to make it to this mirror shot. And I'm not sure they lagged here. Because they definitely should have had the move. And I get the debuff. I'm going to let this go. They Shadow Ball me. Maybe I should have no-shielded this. But anyways, I end up shielding him. Farming them down. They actually end up getting the boost there, which actually was slightly worse for me. And they come into... I try to throw good timing versus the Dugong. This Dugong doesn't have that much energy. And they come into Shadow Zapdos. This is Home Slice Henry's team. I will end up shielding this. Shadow Zapdos is super glassy. So I will... Oh my gosh. I frame drop there. I wanted to do one Dragon Breath in throw. I have no idea what I actually end up doing. And then I just need to Dragon Breath down this Dugong, which I do end up doing. So that worked out pretty okay for me. And then this was the game. This was the game of the series. Anyways, we have Annihilape into Poliwrath. This is totally fine. Yeah, this was the game of the... I don't know how to properly describe it. The best game that I played this stream. We'll let this go. And I do win the 0. And we'll throw the Night Slash. They actually end up shielding. No boost for me. If I would have boosted, that would have been really nice. But it actually worked out okay for me. Good timing by the opponent. And they come in my worst nightmare here, which ends up being the Bastiodon. I will throw the drill run the first time, and then I make a very clutch play here. So I will throw the drill run, and then that does quite a bit of damage, not enough to KO it. And actually, the next drill run doesn't threaten it as well. So I have no choice here. I have to bait. I have to bait, but baiting seems like the most logical play. And then I anticipate that they know that I'm going to get to the move here. So I actually will switch, and then I call their switch, and they come into Trevenant. I will throw the Drill Peck, and this will easily one-shot the Trevenant. And then I will make it to the Thunderbolt versus this Bastiodon. And this actually almost KOs the Bastiodon. Leaves them at like just a little bit of HP. And it actually doesn't really matter what moveset I'm going to throw here, because both of them would end up KOing them. So worked out very nicely for me. So I had a lot of fun playing this type of challenge. And it was, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.